very eventful off-season for Nxled. You take us through the process of assimilating the Petrogas players into your team.
Yeah, well, of course, we were looking forward to January first practice where all the new members, not just the Petrogas players, but we also got a couple from Cherry, from Choco. But I guess, syempre, it's always the anticipation that gets you nervous, but I was so glad, seeing them on the first day. It was actually Brooke who was like, syempre, kanya-kanya pa silang area sa court, and then it was Brooke who was like, uy, ano ba kayo? Why are you there? Like, hey teammates, So I was so glad that, everybody welcomed each other very warmly for practice. And yeah, the energy ever since they trained together was very good. Magaan sila panoorin, and yeah, it's the energy is really vibrant, maganda. Parang I feel like they push each other, not just like the champions and the Nxled holdovers, but like it's just everybody.
The process of getting there, of getting these Petrogas players, kind of drew criticism.
Yeah.
How you were able to get them.
Yeah, so it was discussed naman before among the owners also, but ultimately there was a free agency na nangyari because most, except for like 3 players of Petrogas, had their contracts expiring in December. So yun lang naman, parang, and upon offering them their contracts, it was really up to them to whether or not sign with us. So there was that moment of free agency. Their contracts expired. We offered them a contract under Nxled and they signed. It's really, I think, napasama lang yung itsura kasi they're one group.
Yeah.
But if you ask them, no one forced them. It was them deciding they wanted to stick together. Wherever one goes, everybody goes. It's really that. It's sabi ko nga, it's very reminiscent of my batch back in high school when we decided to go to Ateneo. It's like, saan ka magka-college? Doon ako. So, and Petrogas, I've played there before. It's a very tight-knit player community, or, the team is very tight-knit, and I'm not surprised that they chose to stick together after, the team decided to take a leave of absence.
So you're a manager now, you're managing a club team, you're managing a UAAP team also. Does it concern you at all na Petrogas was the champion of the All-Filipino, and then not even a conference later they take a leave of absence? As someone who's like, yun nga, in a management position, does that raise some warning bells for you?
Good question. Siguro, at the end of the day, I always think that, on a player's perspective also, we're contractual. It's not even employees, we're contractual service people, I guess. So it's really 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. It's not long term. Although I'm glad, I think it was asked earlier, and it has been a conversation with the PVL, with the tournament. What are we gonna do since, at the end of the year, there were 2 teams who chose to not continue. And I think now, it's, PVL as a professional league is very young. We're trying to get as much best practices, not just in the Philippines, because yung isa lang naman is PBA, right? But we're trying to see how sana in the future hindi pa kami mabawasan ng teams, moving forward. So yeah, I'm glad that PVL is very transparent with what they plan to do, and they share it with us, and ultimately it's a unanimous vote naman among the owners and the stakeholders of the league.
From the Nxled point of view, how do you keep things sustainable? Ayun nga.
Well, first of all, salamat Sir Chris. How do we keep things sustainable? I think it all boils down to planning also. I remember when I joined Nxled, yun din, actually, nung sumali ako, may mga rumors na magdi-disband, na hindi pang long term. But, our boss, our CEO, Christopher Q, reassured me and the rest of the team naman that this is something that will be for a long term. I think it's really just that, I guess sa amin sa Nxled or sa Akari Sports, you can see kasi they're already involved in so many properties and so many advocacies through sports. So I think for us at the very least, there's already an ecosystem that's being built that, you know, ultimately we're planning to make sure that it's sustainable, not just for the athletes but everybody, the coaches, down to the physiotherapists, the utilities. So I'm glad that I have not just me but like, you know, the upper management also is on the same page of making things sustainable and long term.
So that's the long term, but I guess the short term would be seeing how this new look roster will show up once the games are being played, because it's one thing to to get all these talents and another to put them together. How are you helping, kasi you were a player and you've dealt with championship expectations before, how are you helping this team like come to terms with yung new reality nyo na iba na yung tingin sa inyo ng ibang mga teams?
I mean, if you're asking about pressure, you know, athletes eat pressure for breakfast, and I'm glad that, you know, this new group is like a culmination of two different cultures also. One has that championship experience, another has that very vibrant, high energy, and you know the will is there. So I mean, you can see it. I mean, I've been seeing it at practices na parang they really push each other to be the best versions of themselves. Parang kahit na 20, 24 kami, parang no one's really assured of a spot and they really fight for their spot. You know, I remember one time after practice, one of the Nxled holdovers, I complimented her because she trained so well. Sabi ko ba, like, okay, practice mo today. And then, you know, like, instead of na I got worried that they feel threatened in their position, like, they took it positively and said na, no, like, kailangan ko magpakita, Miss Z, kasi ang dami na namin sa pwesto nagagawan. So, I'm happy that's how they responded. And I think, you know, the fact that they respond positively is already showing of a great culture that we're building in this new team.
So, positive ang outlook mo for this?
Sobra. Punta ka sa tailings.
Thank you so much!
Thank you.